Here we go. Our second game here this Wednesday. It's San Miguel up against Alaska.
Number 21, Jerron Tang. Head coach for Alaska is Jeff Carriazo. And now the starters for the San Miguel Beermen. A 6'2" guard from La Paz Leyte, number 6, Chris Ross. A 6'2" guard from Manila, number 3, Vaughn Pesumal. A 6'3" forward from Ilocos Sur, number 13, Marshall Lassiter. A 6'4" forward from Lubao, Pampanga, number 29, Arwin Santos. And a 6'10" center from Pinabongahan, Cebu, number 15, Junmar Fajardo. Head coach for San Miguel is Leo Austria. Our referees for this game, Peter Bala.
There you got the starters for both these squads. No differences really. I mean, you have Adamos unusually starting out for Alaska. On the other side, San Miguel Beer starting out with Von Pesumal here this afternoon. This tip-off is not brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. There you got the officials, and here we go, Ali.
This is going to present a huge challenge, and I'm saying this because I used to be a big guy in the PBA. For the front line of Alaska, they have a deep front line that Coach Jeffrey Carriazo can rely on. Why? Because of that man right there in the post, Junmar Fajardo.
Here's Junmar trying to push his way inside. As we mentioned, Brundial is going to have his hands full, but they go inside, they kick it outside to the open man. Arwin Santos delivers.
You can see right off the bat what Alaska's trying to do. They're trying to double team Junmar Fajardo as soon as he passes the ball, as soon as he catches the ball. Right off the bat, Junmar also very good at dishing out assists and finding his teammates. This time, Arwin Santos at the top of the key.
Do you want to have Brundial being extra aggressive here? Because obviously you want to try to make sure that at least Junmar works hard on the other end of the floor as well.
Yes, definitely. One of the things that Coach Jeffrey Carriazo might have considered is a lot of movement. Get Junmar Fajardo moving, especially in pick and roll situations, because if there is a bit of an Achilles heel, and I say just a little bit, it is the pick and roll defense of Junmar Fajardo.
As expected, right back into the post. There's that quick double. Extra passing. Finds Junmar. Nice recovery though by the Alaska defense. Now deep inside, just too much. Junmar Fajardo is going to score. It's 4-0 for the San Miguel Beermen.
It's very, very difficult to deal with down low, especially in the paint. But you see that San Miguel has counters for whenever Junmar Fajardo is double teamed or trapped in the post.
Brundial will attack as expected. That's going to bounce out. Brundial attacks, and he gets blocked there by Junmar.
Good recovery defense there, but those are the type of attacks I want to see more from the bigs of Alaska. Try to take Junmar Fajardo off the dribble. Nothing different here. They're going straight into the post, but this time a pick and roll action for Marshall Lassiter.
That ball falls right in the hands of Marshall. They got a brand new 14, but Junmar says, let me take a shot, and eventually miss. Jerron Tang, supposed to be also one of the main pillars now for the new Alaska Aces. Puts up a jumper there, will come up short.
Now Alaska has had their opportunities in this first quarter, in the beginning of this first quarter, to put numbers on the board. They have to take advantage of these possessions, because if San Miguel continues to keep scoring, they can really extend this lead. And one of the things that I know is very hard to catch up with a team like San Miguel.
Watch it here once again. Marshall attacks, turns that corner. He's got the foot speed against Adamos, puts it through. And the Beermen are up 6-0. This timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Let's take a look at SMB snipers, Lassiter and Pesumal. And what a combination to have.
Well, for sure. I mean, you see their output there. Despite the loss, that's 13 points, 2 for 5 from the three-point line by Marshall Lassiter. Bon Pusamal with his double-digit scoring as well. But we talked about Robbie Herndon, Maverick Ahanmisi, and Mike DeGregorio being the three-point threats from Alaska. Well, those are the three-point threats for San Miguel Beer.
Here comes Abu Trotter coming off the bench, scoring right away. Quite surprised they didn't have Abu starting out because he's a better matchup here against Junmar.
Well, a little bit more athletic, a little bit more strength in the post. Bon Pisumal right on point, Anthony, knocking down that three-point shot. San Miguel has so many weapons.
And at the same time, Ali, you know, a lot of the critics are saying that they are starting to hit their groove, and it looks like it. They didn't really start out the way they wanted to, but right now, especially with the return of Junmar healthy, it looks like they're like the San Miguel Beermen of old.
And again, off the pick and roll, Marshall Lassiter reading it very well. And one thing that we cannot forget about Marshall Lassiter is that he has full capability of being able to penetrate and attack the basket. That's actually one of his first strengths. I remember working out with him in Las Vegas. First time I'd ever seen him, this was back in 2009, he was actually working out with us. And one of the first things I noticed when he was of course a younger Marshall Lassiter, he was very explosive attacking the basket. We know him for his three-point shooting because that capability that he possesses fits right into the system of San Miguel Beer. Right, you already have your penetrators with Chris Ross, especially Alex Gabagna, Terrence Romeo now. You have your big man in the post, Gilmar Fajardo, Mr. Intangible, Arwin Santos, but a consistent three-point shooter, Marshall Lassiter.
Right now, he's leading the charge offensively. Trying to funnel it through Junmar Fajardo once again, outside of his comfort zone. Pass is going to go awry. DeGregorio pushes it forward. Ahanmisi, nice look inside. Brundial puts it through.
I don't know what Rodney Brundial is hesitating for. In his mind, he knows the capability, the shot block capability of Arwin Santos. Look, just challenge him, go straight up, take your chances. Now, that was good defense on the part of Alaska in that last sequence. They got to really try to disrupt the offense of San Miguel, but Junmar Fajardo was such a good player, especially in that block. He understands leverage, he understands positioning, especially when he's going up against a muscular body like Abu Trotter.
Brundial thought about that three. Trotter can hit that, and does.
Now, if they can knock down that type of shot consistently, that will get Junmar to really have to step further out and challenge. The further he steps out, the more in no man's land he's in. That's outside of his comfort zone.
Nice looks inside. They kick it out. Pesumal hits.
Wow. Good ball movement on the part of San Miguel. Chris Ross finding Bon Pesumal, for the three-point shot.
Pesumal's got 2 threes already. Trotter not wanting to take the shot. He's going to bring it closer. Junmar was baiting him to take that one. DeGregorio with a floater. No. Another rebound here for Junmar.
He just needs to fire that shot. If Junmar Fajardo is going to give you that shot, take it. Don't try to attack him because this is a very good defensive team that they're dealing with right now.
Back to the post. Back to Junmar. Will it net the same results? Look at that touch passing. Chris Ross goes glass.
They just have a solution for any type of situation. And again, the weaponry that they possess. Chris Ross is another player that can hurt you offensively if you allow him to.
Trotter will try to attack inside. Extra pass finds Brunjal open for 3. Short that time. Another rebound here. It has been so many one and dones offensively for the Aces.
Well, you got to give credit to the defense of San Miguel. You know, these guys have been playing for such a long time, Anthony.
An offensive foul is going to be called there on Teng. And Ross doesn't like it.
Offensive foul number 21, Jerron 10. Substitutions, Robbie Herndon for Michael DiGregorio, JP Casio for Jerron 10.
Let's see exactly what happened.
There it is right there. Chris Ross didn't see it coming. And those are the ones that hurt. And I don't think there was anything intentional there. I'll call it if I see it. But that just looked like Jerron Teng just trying to get in better position.
Well, the problem for them is there's another basket from Chris Ross, and this lead is just ballooned. This is now the biggest lead of the ball game at 14.
You know, this is a team that doesn't always like to get out and run. They do have that capability, but for the most part, they'll hurt you in their half-court sets. But JB Casio was able to knock down a shot coming off a curl.
Would you say that the Aces have recovered their feet or their bearings, so to speak, after having to play 3 games in 3 days?
Well, the way things are looking right now in this first quarter, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, if they keep this up, Anthony, they're in trouble. They're going to be in some serious trouble.
I agree with you.
This is not the team to mess around with.
Look at that perfect pass inside. Finding Fajardo in stride. We're going to have another timeout here. A 30-second timeout. So the second timeout already called here by the Aces. Well, they have to because the momentum has really swung to San Miguel's direction.
It's 22-8 here, and the game is clearly out of control. But we saw 2 great looks by Chris Ross, and then this assist off the pick and roll. Again, these guys have been playing with each other for such a long time. They know how to read one another. You see the defense having a hard time with San Miguel's pick and roll.
That looked just so simple. Junmar's like, this is taking candy from a baby. San Miguel still to call their mandatory timeout here in the first period. They don't really have to. They've got a very good lead. Adamos is going to check back in. He did start here for the Aces.
Well, he does have the size, 6'7", has 3-point shooting capability. And this is just the last thing that you want.
Oh, no.
To sort of add insult to injury.
Well, he's a rookie, and he forgot to be able to report to the scorer's table. And so you're going to give the San Miguel Beermen, who don't really need another point, an extra free throw, which they will promptly cash in on. I know a lot of head coaches, they assign an assistant coach to make sure that players have to report before checking in.
You know, in my younger years, Anthony, that's a good point, because I had a guy by the name of... It'll come back to me. Let's talk about
but I
the
get
game.
you. No, I mean, you have to delegate that because a lot of times players are also focused on the game itself. But if you tell one of the assistant coaches, this is your job, you got to make sure every time we send in a player, you have to, even if you have to escort him to the
you have to make sure
table,
they check in.
make
Absolutely,
sure he checks in. And Misi, his first shot will miss. Ross tracks that down. They push it forward. CJ Perez is checked in, so even more firepower on the floor. Look at this combination. Junmar and CJ. Junmar just barrels his way in.
So far, Alaska has no answer for that.
This is now at 15 points, the biggest lead of the ball game for the San Miguel Beermen. Herndon will try to attack. Basket and one opportunity as he challenged CJ Perez.
Well, CJ Perez is very aware of Robbie Herndon's ability to knock down three-point shots. So, you know, sort of used to his advantage, being able to take CJ Perez off the dribble.
Timeout's going to be called by the San Miguel Beermen. They still are up by 13. Back to the action here. Coming to you from Bacolor, Pampanga. Basket and one opportunity there. You can see slight foul, but nevertheless made contact there with the arm of Robbie Herndon.
What I like about that shot by Robbie Herndon, it was high off the glass, especially when you're going up against the athleticism of someone like CJ Perez. But this is the type of aggressiveness you're going to have to apply to San Miguel's defense.
Nice slam there from Chatter.
So they're going to have to get a little bit scrappy here. Try to force turnovers, battle for the rebounds, and they're just going to have to fight and claw their way back into this ball game.
Tautua in the ball game for the first time. And even he has the strength, but he's going to miss there. Adamas with the rebound. Now a chance for the Aces to make their move without Junmar Fajardo.
Well, if there's going to be a time to do it, this is the time now. But that was a good defensive play by Abu Trotter, being able to stop Wawala Tautua.
Chris Ross trying to take advantage of the rookie here. Nice join there from the veteran and the rookie.
Take a look at this miss here.
Coming out of nowhere, there's Abu Trotter.
Definitely. You know, Ben Adamos got the offensive rebound, which was good hustle on his part, but was unable to convert. But then Abu Trotter with the follow-up dunk. A little bit of jawing going on. You got the young rookie Stockton trying to prove himself to Chris Ross.
Well, a split from the line. He's going to bring the lead a little bit more, a little bigger once again for the San Miguel Beermen. It's at 12. It stood at a high of 15. Herndon hits from the outside. And that lead is cut down to 9.
Some quick shots there, picking up the pace. Nice handoff by Abu Trotter to Robbie Herndon for the three-point shot. And here goes Stockton and Chris Ross going at it once again.
Chris Ross takes the rookie to school.
That's 3 bank shots by Chris Ross so far in this ball game.
I'm sure Stockton wants to be able to answer back. Here's Herndon, gets away once again.
And I will say right now, Robbie Herndon's lighting up CJ Perez. That was a nice backdoor play.
7 points already here for Herndon. And a charge is going to be called there against Ross.
It looks like a fun matchup right there. You got old school versus a youngster. That's a good setup. I will say that.
That elicits a nice smile there from Chris. And he promptly hits the bench. Herndon for 3, no. Zamar has checked in for the first time. So the only starter they have on the floor is the veteran Arwin Santos. Gamalinda has checked in for the Beermen as well. Ross with a spin, he'll come up short. But against JV Casio, he'll have that basket every single day.
Well, he had the size advantage. So it presented a bit of a mismatch, and that's what you're supposed to do. Try to exploit and take advantage of those.
That's going to be an offensive foul. Adamos wasn't set. That's going to hurt CJ Perez.
Well, this is something that he's going to have to learn. This is not the first time we've seen Adamo set set picks like that resulted in offensive fouls. So he has to really focus on timing. Now, what I like about Alaska's offense, a lot more movement. All right, and that's something that they're going to have to do more of to catch San Miguel off balance defensively. More ball movement and just trying to find the best opportunity possible, the most efficient high percentage shot, because that's what you're going to need against a team like San Miguel Beer.
CJ Perez hits from the outside. That was pretty decent defense there from Gabanal.
That was very, very good defense. It's probably the best defense that you can possibly play. That's just a tough play to make.
Casio from downtown, no. And just like that, the first quarter is done. And it's a 4-point advantage enjoyed here, but San Miguel Beermen, they're up 33-19. Welcome back to our coverage. As you take a look at this, 5 straight championships here in the Philippine Cup for the San Miguel Beermen.
That's amazing. That's almost an entire decade of dominance. And again, I was talking about earlier how long this team, that core has been together, that starting 5 in particular. Although Alex Cabagnat is not available, you got 4 of the 5 starters, the original guys that were the ones responsible for these championships. Anthony, I thought that winning 3 in a row was good enough, but man, 5 in a row, unbelievable.
Exceptional. And they're looking to try to win another one here. And it looks like they do have the tools once again. And the main tool obviously is Junmar Fajardo.
Definitely. He's like the X factor pretty much in all of those championships.
Stockton gives it out to Banal. They're gonna post up Trotter. Trotter feels he's got the advantage. Casio from the inside rattles that one out. Herndon puts it up and in. He's in double digits, or he's at least close to it. I think he's got 9.
Good decision by Robbie Herndon. One thing I wanted to point out, bench production for Alaska has been key in keeping this ball game pretty close, or I'd say within striking distance. But again, more movement on the part of Alaska in their offense has allowed them to get some sort of rhythm offensively.
CJ Perez from way down will miss. Two players from San Miguel battling for it, and they're both going to lose it. Brondial is going to check back in. He started here for the Aces. Trotter came off the bench and gave them a whole lot of effort. Not to mention good points and 1 slam dunk to boot.
20 bench points for Alaska so far, and it's really been the key to jumpstart their offense in this first half.
That's 9 points from Robbie Herndon alone. Casio has helped them out as well. Brondial inside.
Again, you want to take, if you're Alaska, you want to take as much advantage of this smaller lineup from San Miguel as possible before Gilmar's checked back into the ball game.
Having said that, if you're San Miguel Beer, when do you send Junmar back in? Because this lead is now just down to 7. It once stood a high of 15 a while ago, Ali.
Well, if Alaska can close that gap more and more, then for sure.
CJ Perez asking for a foul, none given. Alaska trying to run. Gasho with an N1 situation here.
The pace of the game changed when JB Casio was put into the ball game. Of course, he's using the experience that he's had throughout the years, but we're seeing great production from JB Casio outside of Robbie Herndon in this second quarter.
That's going to add to their bench points once again here, Ali.
Right now, he's got 5 points. Six points, if I'm correct.
And the lead is down to 4. Here comes Junmar right back in action. Herndon gets in the way. Stockton will challenge and score.
Defensive play by Robbie Herndon, forcing the turnover, which resulted in a fast break. Biggest key here, Alaska needs to change the pace of this game, make it more towards their advantage.
This time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Back to the action here from Bacolor, Pampanga as we take a look at this fast break play. Stockton will finish strong over Pesomal.
What I like about this young rookie, he's not backing down to anything. We saw him take an offensive foul, an offensive charge on Chris Ross, and then challenging Bon Pesumal on that fast break.
But it's a 12-0 run.
Absolutely, 12-0 run by Alaska. Very, very good comeback.
And just like that, the starters have been reinserted here by Coach Leo. He's got 4 starters there and CJ Perez.
Well, Alaska dropped down to a 2-3 zone to deal with Jumar Fajardo, but still, he's got so many weapons that he can rely on. This time it was a turnaround jump shot.
Brondial is going to have to take that, and he makes it.
It's wide open. It's wide open, so he might as well take advantage of it. Again, get Jumar Fajardo to stretch out his defense more and more to where he's not comfortable being out that far.
Junmar trying to go to work. They go right back to him. Pesomal on the outside, puts up a 3. Can't answer that time. Well, the Aces trying to make a game out of it, but here we got a steal. And there's going to be a foul called, I think, on Di Gregorio before the timeout of CJ Perez.
Foul on number 3, Michael Di Gregorio. That's his second, first for the Aces.
Di Gregorio was arguing that CJ Perez was on the sideline, but the referees will say it was right before the foul.
Well, I mean, he's arguing about that, but the reason why that happened in the first place is Alaska has to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. There's really no room for too many errors when you're going up against San Miguel.
And right now, you've already brought it down to 1.
And then it cost them. That turnover cost them. Chris Ross knocked down a three-point shot.
Herndon answers once again from the outside. He's on fire today.
He's on fire. Let it fly. Let it fly.
Lead is back down to 1. We got a ball game once again in our hands. Second of 2 games scheduled here. Actually, today is the penultimate day of the eliminations. Tomorrow will be the final day. And then we move on to the quarterfinals. CJ will miss. He apologizes.
Well, on that scenario, Alaska did a very good job of boxing out Jumar Fajardo after they made the stop. Now, the double team in that 2-3 zone is coming from the middle. Earlier on, it was coming from the guard at the top, which was Maverick Ahanmisi in the first quarter. That wasn't working. But
Once
as
again,
I say that,
inside, outside basketball.
Inside, outside. Von Pisabal knocks down a three-point shot. Again, you cannot make too many mistakes with the San Miguel team. But I like the way Alaska has woken up in this first half.
Herndon's asking for it. Why not give it to him? Kasha gets denied there by Pesomal. RK Lagan's going to check in for the first time here today. Arwin Santos returns.
5 seconds on the shot clock.
Herndon's got to be disappointed. He's having to hit the bench, and he feels he's so hot. De Gregorio puts that one up and hits.
And we knew that he was going to somehow find a way to get involved. Remember, he's averaging double figures in this entire conference. You know, you shrug off that struggle that you had versus Terra Firma, get back on track offensively.
Lassiter puts up another 3, short that time. And here comes De Gregorio in the open court, challenges, and scores!
It's one heck of a move by Mike De Gregorio. He's asking for a foul. Look, just sprint back on defense, play solid defense, try to get another stop.
Pesomal short that time. We're tied at 41. Our first deadlock of the game. Are we gonna see first chance for the Aces? Ilagan kicks it out. They find De Gregorio. Can hit. Alaska has not yet led here in this ball game.
Well, they're doing a good job, especially in the second quarter. Now, they're mixing up the defense. And that's just not the position that you want to have Jumar Fajardo in, not that deep.
But it was a double team. And here come the Aces. Banal should take that. He'll miss though. Look at Ilagan battling for it. That's why Coach Jeff is so high on Ilagan. Ilagan actually had a very good game to start out. Was injured with a hamstring injury, which he sustained in practice. Take a look at this shot here. That was acrobatic coming from Mike De Gregorio.
Did a good job using his body to protect the ball from getting blocked. But we're seeing the mix in defenses here. Now, Alaska is in a man-to-man.
They send the late double. Santos inside the paint. Can't hit. Chance for the Aces here.
Anthony, I like what Jeffrey Carriazo is doing. Coach Jeffrey Carriazo is doing defensively. He's showing different types of schemes and is throwing San Miguel off. They don't know exactly where the double team is going to come from.
Trotter can't hit. That's a good setup there by Ilagan. We're still tied at 41. Junmar inside, deep. The pass a little bit outside of his range. De Gregorio with the left hand, overshoots.
They have to convert on those shots. They're doing a really good job making stops right now.
It's 5-on-4. Ross takes advantage.
Looked like there was confusion defensively of who was supposed to pick up Chris Ross.
We got a full timeout. San Miguel Beermen up by 2. take a look at the league leaders in steals, and no surprise, Chris Ross is at number 1.
I don't know how many years Chris Ross has led the league in steals, but yeah, hands down, he's arguably got to be one of the best defensive guards ever in PBA history. But interestingly enough, you look at that lineup there, Jericho Cruz, Chris Newsom, but 2 TNT players leading the league in steals. That's very significant, especially from a defensive standpoint.
I would venture he'd be at least in double digits in terms of how many years he's led the league. Trotter, short. That was bothered definitely by the presence of Junmar. 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Nice steal from Banal. Banal up against 3. Will come up with nothing.
They got to take advantage of those stops. Doing a good job defensively, I like it, but they got to score.
Here's Ross, gets away once again. A little bit too strong. Trotter will lose it. Look at that nice passing there. But it nets Marcio nothing.
That's 2 steals by CJ Perez.
That's a nice look. Banal gets denied though. That's what happens when you don't go up strong, Ali.
They have to be more aware, more conscious on both ends of the court. RK Yagan was expecting a pick, a screen to come up in the last sequence, and he started to telegraph his positioning. Chris Ross took advantage of that, drove all the way to the basket. Now, you have Abu Trotter coming down the middle who could be wide open. All you got to do is pass that ball to Abu Trotter for a jam. They have to take better advantage of these opportunities offensively.
Junmar taps it to himself. Jeff Carriazo might have a point there because Junmar was tapping that to himself. It hit the baseline. That should be Alaska ball. Here's Lassiter inside, will come up short. Jeron Teng is checked in. De Gregorio ties things up once again. We're tied at 43. Only the second deadlock.
I believe Mike De Gregorio now has 6 points. So he's finding his way to get back on track.
They go inside. Ross has the advantage over Ilagan, and that's why they send the double. Marcio gets away and gets denied there by Trotter.
Good help side defense, just good defense, period, by Abu Trotter.
De Gregorio, no. That would have been the advantage. Trotter can slam it through. That's what you like to see, the effort from all these players.
For sure, definitely. I like, if you're gonna challenge Arwin Santos, you try to dunk it on him. But at the same time, that's also a good challenge by Arwin Santos. Both guys getting up. And then of course we see Marshall Lassiter and the rookie RK Yagan both diving for the ball, the loose ball. You would think Marshall Lassiter, 5-6-time champion, I don't have to dive for the ball, but again, that's why San Miguel is so tough.
That's a lucky shot there, but Trotter's gonna take it. First taste of the lead here.
It was a 2-3 zone by Alaska. And off an inbounds play, by San Miguel, and off an inbounds play, Abu Trotter was able to get the ball up above Juma Fajardo.
Santos can't hit. Ilagan picks it up. Trying to race down court. Trying to look for Mike De Gregorio, who was free in the corner.
Alaska's bigs are doing a good job of bodying up Juma Fajardo. I'm very impressed with that. But then again, Alaska has big guys. You know, Rodney Brondell is a good 6'5", 6'6", and Abu Trotter is about 6'5", 6'6" himself. Both guys 240 pounds.
CJ trying to take advantage of the size mismatch. Kent. Boy, the San Miguel Beermen have suddenly gone cold.
Well, they look a little tired. And one thing I want to add, Anthony, is that that's nice pick and roll play. RK Yagan, pulling up for the mid-range jump shot. One thing I have to mention is that Alaska is #1 in rebounding. So this is probably what San Miguel is feeling right now. They've done a really good job of boxing out Jumar so he cannot collect offensive rebounds, and they're controlling the boards right now.
Only a 30-second timeout, so we're going to hang on to the air here. But what a drastic turn of events. Let's take a look at the tournament format first. Single round robin eliminations. So the teams will play each other once, which means it's a total of 11 games per team. Top 8 make it to the next phase, which is the quarterfinals. The bottom 4 are out. Top 2 teams with a twice to beat advantage over the number 7 and 8. And then all those in the middle, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and 6 go through a best of 3.
Well, right now, Alaska leads the rebounding battle 26-23. Still a close margin, but the big thing here is that they're handling Jumar Fajardo pretty well in the second quarter. Assist column, same thing, 13-8. So ball distribution has also been pretty key for Alaska's offense.
Let's see what Coach Leo's diagrammed here. They want to be able to score, and they're not going to be able to. They're going to get the ball back, though.
And one thing I will say, this team that Alaska's put together, once they really start to develop and they have more time to prepare, especially for the next conference, they're going to be a lot more familiar with each other. This is a relatively young team, and a lot of them reflect the way Jeffrey Carriazo used to play, which is very hard and tough-nosed defense and the physicality.
They look for CJ. CJ puts up a quick 3. No. What a comeback here for the Alaska Aces in a game billed as against all odds, because the Aces need to be able to come up with back-to-back victories to be able to make it to the quarterfinals. We'll find out if they can do it. Let's take a look at the player of the half, brought to you by Firefly, the trusted lightning partner of the PBA, and it's Robbie Herndon.
12 points, 5 for 6 from the field, 2 for 3 from three-point range. He's only missed 2 shots the entire game. I can see why he was frustrated about having to sit out. But Alaska's up at the half, 47-43.
At the half, we find the Alaska Aces up 47-43 after being down by 15 points at one stage. What a comeback here for the Aces.
Definitely. And, at first you thought that this was going to be a long night for the Alaska Aces, but they really turned the tables. And I think a lot of it really had to do with just their effort. All of a sudden, offensively, they started to move around a lot more. They started to become more aggressive. They started to challenge the defense of San Miguel, but defensively, they did an extraordinary job, especially in the second quarter, of making stops. We see this turnover here by Robbie Herndon, or causing the turnover rather, resulting in a fast break. The rookie Stockton finishing, and then we see some good, efficient execution. Robbie Herndon feeling it in that first half with another three-point shot, and then some more fast break points. This time, Mike DiGregorio challenging Von Pesumal. So it's just been really the effort on the part of Alaska, also being able to switch up the defenses. But as I say that, San Miguel Beer is still such a dangerous team. Chris Ross knocking down that bucket. But you look at the scoring right now, field goal percentage almost around the same, 43% to 41%. Points in the paint, 24-16. Alaska has that advantage, but check out the bench points, 34-5. That's where Alaska started to make their mark in the first half. The bench made all the difference in the world for them. And then fast break points, Alaska 11, San Miguel 0.
Those halftime stats were brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Leading scores for both these squads, Chris Ross and Robbie Herndon with 12 apiece. Trotter and Fajardo also with 10. And then you go down, Pesomal's got 9, Lassiter's got 5. On the other side, Casio with 8, Rondial with 7. So Casio, Trotter, and Herndon for the Alaska Aces. Going back to your point that you were making a while ago, those 3 players all off the bench.
Definitely, and I think they were the ones that led this this comeback, this answer to the powerful, the mighty San Miguel. But if you're going to beat San Miguel Beer, you got to match power with firepower with firepower, effort with effort, and so far they've done a really good job with that. One of the things that they have to keep doing, keep causing turnovers, get in the fast break opportunities, take advantage of those fast break opportunities, and play tough defense. Box out the bigs of San Miguel Beer, secure those rebounds.
When you look at the starting unit for the Aces, they're starting out with the rookie Stockton. On the other side, as we have Ahanmisi blowing that layup, you have no Junmar Fajardo starting out for the Beermen.
We have Moala Tautua starting in the place for Junmar Fajardo.
From the outside, Chris Ross will miss. One and done that time for the San Miguel Beermen. Herndon, why not? Bang!
Off the pick and roll, Robbie Herndon knocking down the three-point shot. San Miguel's defense a little loose here to start things off in the third quarter.
Robbie Herndon is the top scorer of the other squad so far today, and you leave him that wide open. Arwin tries to answer back and does.
San Miguel just needs to get back on track. Now, Moala Tautua starts for possibly more movement, better matchups with particularly the bigs of Alaska.
Chris Ross saying that was off Trotter, but once again, you can see Chris Ross just around the area with that swipe.
He gets such great elevation off his jump shots, Arwin Santos, and he's so long on top of everything else. That was good defense by Maverick Ahanmisi, but still, Arwin Santos able to knock down that three-point shot.
Nothing there that time for the Aces. They had some good opportunities. Santos is going to be called for that foul. Looks like they're picking on the rookie.
Well, it looks like Stockton's getting in the heads of many of the older players. I don't know exactly what took place in that situation, but it was definitely a hard screen by Arwin Santos. But again, Stockton not backing down.
And he's playing point, calling out the play. Up against Perez. Goes to the corner. Herndon for another shot. No. Probably the only miss of Robbie here today. Inside to Tautua.
What Abu Trotter has to do is be aware of that flash, especially if there's no one on the weak side. You know that that thing is going to be wide open.
Are you surprised there's no Junmar Fajardo to start things out here for San Miguel?
I actually am surprised. And that's not taking anything away from Moala Tautua. He was so effective, particularly in that first quarter, but he did run into problems in the second quarter. Again, defensively, Alaska was showing different looks towards Moala Tautua, and it stagnated San Miguel's offense.
They're going to give 2 shots off that foul from Stockton.
Foul is on number 12, Alex Stockton. That's his second, 1 on the Aces.
Second personal foul here on Stockton.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
Arvin Santos is asking for 2 shots. That's a good call by the referees. It just should be a side court throw-in. Ross now against Herndon. Ross, basket and one. Creating space against the much bigger Abu Trotter.
You see right here, it's a nice setup, particularly on the part of Mualatau Tua, setting a solid pick on Robbie Herndon. Chris Ross is able to get away from Robbie Herndon and attack straight on Abu Trotter to get the and one.
Ross converts in the three-point play, and the San Miguel Beermen are now within a point.
You just think about how tough this San Miguel team is. You know, they don't have Alex Cabagna. They don't have Terrence Romeo. But yet, Alaska's still having major problems with this team. They're still a very dangerous team.
Banal, nice look inside. Brondial can't convert, and here's Tautua with the board.
Good cleanup by Mualatau Tua. Understanding that Alaska's going to crash the boards.
Finger roll's not going to work there for Marshall. So the San Miguel Beermen still down by one basket. Nice extra pass. Banal for three. No.
And he's someone that needs to catch fire here. He's the leading three-point shooter in the league, Gab Banal. He's got to take advantage of those opportunities.
Tautua. Tautua might get an assist there, but that wasn't really planned.
Well, Mr. Intangible cleaning things up. He gets a lot of those types of shots off of, almost turnovers by San Miguel.
This timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Chris Ross with a very good start here for his squad. Already with 15 points, leads all scorers.
Well, you see a lot of that in the first half. Attacks in the post, off the glass. His first three shots of the game were off the glass, but we see what he's been able to do throughout the entire game up until this point, attacking Abu Trotter. Look at these conference averages. Terrence Romeo, who's not available tonight, he leads the league in scoring for San Miguel. Almost 20 points. Jumar Fajardo, almost 10 rebounds per basketball game.
TJ Perez with a steal here. And he finishes strong.
Sort of a learning lesson there for the rookie Stockton. But one of the problems that Alaska has had is taking care of the basketball. And when you have a pesky defender like CJ Perez, you have to be very, very aware of his capability to steal the ball. He comes from a system in college where ball pressure and full court defense was the key for Lyceum. So he's used to that type of pace.
And there he comes over a block on Rodney Brondial. He likes to play defense as well. He plays both ends of the floor. 4 minutes gone here in the third period. Herndon looking for space. And Misi blows to the basket. Nice setup. A little bit too strong there for Banal. But back's going to work for Rodney.
That's a good move by Rodney Brondial. He understood that if he went straight up on the same side, Mualatau Tua is there to possibly block the shot. Instead, he pivoted and turned towards the middle to get a better look at the basket. But again, second chance opportunities. Rebounding has been one of the major factors in Alaska staying in ball games, winning ball games this conference.
Brondial got hit in the kisser, but the foul's going to be called on Rodney here. Watch it once again.
14 seconds to shoot.
Gets hit there by the shoulder. Those are really broad shoulders from Mo Tautua.
Oh, for sure. You know, your face is kind of left vulnerable now that the arm bar has been taken away from your defensive game. And CJ Perez is able to get the and one. But CJ Perez so far has 3 steals in this ball game. And this is a beautiful take by CJ Perez, moving the ball around the air, getting away from his defenders, getting contact, and getting to the basket.
Looking to convert the three-point play this time. A while ago, his free throw was a little bit too strong. This time, he converts. A little bit more stability now with JV Casio on the floor for the Aces. Still no Junmar Fajardo as Lassiter checks in for the Beermen. Nice look once again. Brondial gets away.
Beautiful pass by Gabana, attacking baseline at the heart of the defense of San Miguel. And Rodney Brondial doing a good job by cutting to the basket.
Another basket and one opportunity here for CJ Perez.
It's one of his strengths. Outside of getting out to the break, out into the open court, he can attack and penetrate in the half court. This is a great pickup for San Miguel Beer. You know, it's one thing to already have someone like Terrence Romeo, but CJ Perez takes a lot of pressure off of the scoring responsibilities of guys like Marshall Lassiter, Arwin Santos, Alex Cabagnat, and Terrence Romeo, even Jumar Fajardo.
Well, Perez definitely will be one of the pillars of the new San Miguel Beermen, so to speak. Right now, they're trying to look to win a championship with a new combination. Still, also with that old combo, led by Jumar Fajardo. Di Gregorio can't hit. Brondial once again. Casio all open for 3, yes!
Second chance opportunities again because of the hard work by Rodney Brondial. You gotta give credit for that type of effort.
And again, rebounding, Ali.
Definitely.
CJ Perez gives it up. We'll get it back. Inside to Tautua now. Tautua with a spin.
Such a difficult matchup. Both Jumar Fajardo, Walla Tautua, that was a nice dribble drop step baseline by Mo with the right hand hook shot.
From the outside, Herndon, back rim. That's gonna go over.
So right now, Rodney Brondial only has 4 rebounds, but it seems like he's got 10 rebounds. But still, Rodney Brondial, Abu Trotter have to keep that effort up 100%.
Tautua with a handoff. Door shut there on Lassiter. That's good defense. Mo's gonna have to put this one up. Can't hit. Almost another steal there from CJ.
Definitely.
Now they're gonna settle into the half court. Brondial, another nice move. He's
Beautiful
gonna get
move.
fouled by Mo.
Beautiful move. Out the pick and roll. He was able to receive the basketball by Robbie Herndon. What I like about that is he switched directions at the last moment. He looked like he was going to attack baseline, but then he crosses over, gets Mwala Tautua to bite and get to the basket. Even though he missed that shot, he attacked Mwala Tautua. That's the whole point, attacking and being aggressive against San Miguel's interior defense and drawing the foul.
Dang's gonna enter for the first time here in the second half. Brondial, look at the numbers. 12
So-
points, 5 boards.
Picking up where he left off from last game, getting into double figures. This is really good. You know, I'm really happy for Rodney Brundial's success, really showcasing his talent now that he's with Alaska. He didn't get those opportunities in his previous teams.
Arwin's gonna come up short. Another rebound there by Brundial.
That's 5 rebounds for Rodney Brundial now.
Tang gets away for 2.
Speaking of open court, Jerron Tang is one of the best. We've seen him time and time again do that when he was playing for LaSalle.
Foul's gonna be called there against Robbie Herndon.
So,
Alaska, though, already in the penalty.
so this is where they're gonna have to clean that up. Alaska has the lead here, but that could have been avoided. Lack of communication. Looked like Rodney Brundial got a bit confused on who he was supposed to deal with at that center position. He was a little too high on that 2-3 zone, which allowed Waltau Tua to receive that over-the-head pass. Or the lob pass, I should say.
Gotta break this tie. Is Mota Tua.
We got to find out what's going on with Jumar Fajardo. I don't know if he's...
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to ask you if you're a bit
injured,
surprised
if
that he has not been reinserted.
if he's having a nagging injury or some sort. We don't know. We'll try to find that out soon.
De Gregorio hits.
Good patience, good offense by Alaska. Mike DeGregorio, he's back. He's back on track.
Mo inside. Inside, outside once again. Perez bullies his way. He'll miss, though. And a foul's going to be called there on CJ.
Foul is on number 77, CJ Perez. Substitutions, Junmar Fajardo for Mota Tua.
And here comes Junmar.
It's probably the best closeout that you could possibly attempt by CJ Perez, but Mike DeGregorio is a three-point specialist.
Castro can hit there. Will miss, and here comes Junmar with a
Jumar's
powerful
back.
rebound.
Jumar's back.
I guess they wanted to give the Alaska Aces just a different look to start things off.
Also, just ample time for Jumar Fajardo just to recover.
Extra pass finds Lassiter. That is what they did en route to winning 5 straight Philippine Cup titles.
But we saw this type of execution in the first quarter, the beginning of the first quarter of this ball game.
Brundial, quick move.
Hey, I like it. I like it. And this is where the three-point shooting and the outside shooting of Rodney Brundial in the first half start to pay off dividends, because now Jumar Fajardo has to worry, is he going to pull up with a mid-range jump shot on me, or is he going to attack? So just that hesitation gives Rodney Brundial the advantage to attack the basket. Not like that move. That was a big-time move by Rodney Brundial. 15 points, 8 rebounds. This is a solid game so far.
Poor free throw, though. He's a much better free throw shooter than that. Came up way short. Timeout now will be called by the Beermen. Suddenly they find themselves down by 1. Back to the action here, coming to you from Bacolor, Pampanga. Anthony Starr together with Ali Peak. It's the battle between the Alaska Aces and the San Miguel Beermen. And this is a matchup from the Aces' point of view. It's against all odds. They've got to win here today and win tomorrow. Again, another tough week for the Alaska Aces.
You know, both of these teams realize how important these last few games are. But I am very impressed by the way Alaska has come out. Now, in the beginning, we thought this was going to be a very long night for Alaska because they didn't get off to a very good start. It looked like San Miguel was going to roll through this entire game, but I'm very impressed at Alaska being able to answer the call. And they find themselves up by 1 point right now. And really, it's all because of effort. Being able to match the strengths, if you will, of San Miguel Beer, which is really Jumar Fajardo on the inside, and then playing to their strengths. The rebounding, the effort on the rebounds. Rodney Brondial, 8 rebounds. And then getting out in the fast breaks and really pushing the pace here. But if you're San Miguel Beer, hey, look, get back to what you do best. As Ben Adamos gets involved with a 3-point shot, that's his capability. He's been shooting like that ever since his NCAA days. But get the ball to Jumar Fajardo if you're San Miguel and work that offense, pound the post.
Inside the Junmar. Puts it up and through.
You know, for the young players out there that want to know how to use your body, especially down low like that, Jumar Fajardo just provided the perfect example. There's just that small bump to get your defender to back off a little bit, and then you go straight up.
Still a 1-point lead enjoyed by the Aces. Shot clock down to 3. A foul is going to be called there on Junmar.
Well,
2 more free throws for the Aces.
They're putting pressure. They're putting pressure on Jumar Fajardo by attacking him. Most teams try to go away from him, particularly the bigs. But they're doing a really good job. And speaking of good job, Jumar Fajardo again using his body and being able to power that ball up. But so far, we've seen similar attacks by Abu Trotter and Rodney Brundial while he was in the basketball game. Both guys taking Jumar Fajardo off the dribble, attacking him. Not shying away from him, but attacking him. And what they've done is they've drawn fouls and they've been successful so far.
Multiple players already in double digits here for the Aces. It's been a collective effort offensively. Alaska up by 3 once again. Right back to Junmar, why not? Your multiple-time MVP. Junmar will miss. Here come the Aces. Di Gregorio kicks it out. No look pass. Teng with the left hand, that'll drop.
Beautiful, beautiful drop step. Very similar to what Kobe Bryant used to do back in the day. Except Kobe Bryant, it would result in a turnaround jump shot. This time, a one-handed shot by Jerome Teng.
Ross all the way home.
Where they're so focused on Walletau Tua receiving the ball off the pick and roll that they sort of forget that Chris Ross can penetrate and score.
Trotter, nice cut, but a foul is going to be called there on Arwin Santos. He thought it was clean. You can see the look on his face.
Well, Alaska's doing the right thing and pounding the inside. Again, a lot of it is because they're challenging guys like Jumar Fajardo. They're challenging Walletau Tua. They're challenging Arwin Santos, all shot blockers. What do you do with a shot blocker? You attack them. You don't shy away from them.
Twin Towers now inside. Arvin Santos will take a break. Here comes Zamar.
This is a very interesting lineup by San Miguel Beer. You don't oftentimes see this, but now you got Walletau Tua, who actually subs in for Jumar Fajardo at that 5 position, playing the 4 position. And let's remember, Walletau Tua has small forward capabilities, especially when he's playing back in the States. Okay, he can put the ball on the floor, he can knock down the three-point shot. At the 4 position, he can pound you in the post, but he can also knock down three-point shots as a stretch 4.
Besuman left open, can't hit. A while ago, you saw the games for tomorrow. Those are actually the final 2 games in the eliminations. Adamos for 3. That was halfway down. Zamar picks up the board. The Aces and the Beermen actually both in penalty. Fraction of a second difference from the game clock and the shot clock. That's going to be a foul on Trotter. 2 free throws coming up here for Marshall.
Marshall Lassiter was trying to turn the corner on the Wu Trotter, something that a lot of guards, some of the better guards in the league can do. You know, you think about Alex Cabagna, Jason Castro being able to get around that large body.
2 free throws for Marshall
Marshall Lassiter, this time it worked in his favor because he got fouled.
Marshall trying to get to double digits. Makes that first free throw. He's at 9.
Anthony Mualatotua is wearing the old school Kobe's. I'm going to tell you, those were one of the best series of Kobe's that I've ever worn. And I won a championship with those Kobe's back in 2011. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Third quarter is done. And after 3, it's a 2-point lead enjoyed by the Aces, 77-75. Welcome back to the action as we take a look at the conference averages from the top players, and you've got Yusuf Taha there, unfortunately not in harness for the Aces.
Well, he leads the team in 11.4 points per game, and wouldn't say lead, but as far as big men are concerned, absolutely 11.4 points per game, almost 10 rebounds per game. Maverick Hamisi, almost 3 assists per game, and almost 2 steals, well, 1.1 steals per game. And Yusuf Taha, 1.2 blocks. Very, very valuable. And again, I really like what Coach Jeffrey Cariaso has put together here with this Alaska Aces team. This is a team that's still young enough to grow together.
Well, he was criticized when he let go of a lot of the pillars of the Aces, but he said he wants to have the players that fit his system, and so far it's looking good. Tautua gets away inside.
And this is going to present matchup difficulties for Alaska, because this is a real big to big. When you got 6'10", 6'11", binding a 6'7", cutting to the basket.
You like that substitution because Adamos is taller, but Brondial is a smarter player, at least at this stage, because of the experience.
And physicality as well. You're absolutely right about that, Anthony. The experience also is a big deal here.
Just like that, the Beermen have taken the lead once again. They're up by 1. CJ has his hands full against Teng. Teng creating space. Can't hit though. Zamar calling out the play. Zamar has played a lot of minutes here for the Beermen. I think that bump there from Teng was again
Pushing foul on number 21, Jerron 10.
a reaction to some of the bumps that he was getting from CJ Perez on the other end.
Well, he's been bumping everybody the whole game. First it was Chris Ross.
That's right.
Chris Ross didn't like it.
Second possession here for the Beermen in the fourth period. Go inside to Junmar. That's just too easy.
Two connections again. The second one. Jumar Fajardo getting pushed all the way out of the block, but his passing ability is off the charts. He's able to find a big target in Waltautua once again.
Trotter to the basket with a slam.
There you go. You know, big men are most effective when they're getting the ball on the move because they have so much momentum. In this case, Abu Trotter was able to elevate and throw it down over Jumar Fajardo.
Zamar will miss off that gamble from RK Ilagan. Ilagan apologizes to the bench. The Aces down by 1. Ilagan with a jumper, no.
It looked like Abu Trotter hurt himself. He's grabbing his left knee, and that was actually good position by Jumar Fajardo.
Look at this, 3 straight assists from Junmar to Mo.
And this, so far, has been a really good substitution by Coach Leo.
And a good combination to start out the fourth
Definitely,
period.
to start off this fourth period.
Herndon from the outside, no. He has really cooled off.
Well, now's not the time to do it, especially now that they're down by 3 points.
Zamar almost lost it.
Jump ball.
As we look at this highlight here, Abu Trotter all the way out in the wing, gets past Waltautua and dunks it over the last line of defense by Jumar Fajardo. And then Jumar Fajardo finds Waltautua again, big to big, third time in a row, but this time Waltautua gets back at Abu Trotter.
Tap one there by the Aces.
That was a nice wrap around the back pass by Jumar Fajardo.
Yes, sir. Trotter trying to use his foot speed. That's going to pick up another foul here from Junmar.
Again, that's been one of the keys for Alaska, either trying to extend their lead or climbing back into this ball game. Taking Jumar Fajardo off the dribble has been pretty successful for the Bigs of Alaska.
Now they got to make their free throws. Trotter already with 14 points. He's perfect from the free throw line, 3 for 3. As Maverick Ahanmisi checks in for Jerome Teng. Rodney Brundial having an exceptional ball game as well. They've been getting great production from their big men. Here's Zamar, hounded there by Ilagan. Perez. The pass is supposed to go to Mo, but it went to Junmar, but in the end, it's 2 points.
So far, San Miguel has been able to regain the lead because of the bigs. Jumar Fajardo, Waltautua.
Brundial shows, goes all the way, just can't hit. Zamar asking for a pick and sends it over to Mo. Pesumales checked in for the Beermen. Look at CJ getting away.
It's one heck of a shot there. Again, pick and rolls have also been the key for San Miguel's comeback.
Timeout is going to be called here. This timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. CJ Perez trying to take over here in the fourth period, but already with 15 points, shooting quite well. He's got 5 rebounds and 3 steals to boot.
Well, that last shot by CJ Perez before the timeout was one of the best shots I've ever seen in this conference. You know, coming off that pick and roll, the defense is there, arms extended, but look at this move right here. Acrobatic move, getting away from Rodney Brodnial's long arms. CJ Perez.
He made it look so easy. San Miguel now up by 5. Herndon. Extra pass finds Ahanmisi. Ahanmisi inside.
Well, Jumar Fajardo's got to be a little more aware now, a little bit more careful, because he's picked up fouls and he doesn't want to get into foul trouble, especially down the stretch of this fourth quarter where they've been able to take control of this basketball game.
Zamar from the outside, just short. Here come the Aces, just down by a basket. That's a poor pass. Zamar open for 3. Bang!
Paul Zamar, although he doesn't get much playing time, he's gotten significant playing time this conference. Normally he's playing behind the likes of Chris Ross, Alex Cabagna, Terrence Romeo, but when he comes into the game, he is very, very on point.
Strather is gonna challenge and a foul is gonna be called on Jumar once again.
How many fouls is that by Jumar Fajardo? His third. Let's take a look at this shot here. You got to close out. You got to close out a lot earlier than that if you're gonna go up against Paul Zamar. And Zamar is another player coming all the way from Blackwater. And I watched him play at Blackwater. Extremely tough, and he would have big nights where he would score 20-plus points per game, or not per game, but he would have his 20-plus point outings, and he could very much do the same when he's playing for San Miguel. But such a reliable point guard to help run the show for San Miguel.
And he's a dead shot from the outside, as he proved there. Lead has been cut down to 5, but here come the starters back in the ball game to finish this one. Chris Ross is checked back in together with Marshall. Perez will miss. Under 7 minutes to play. Pass just too sharp.
If you're Alaska, you want to keep pushing here. There's 6:38. That's a lot of time, and they're within 5 points.
Ross using some clock. Finds his big man. Stockton try to get a steal down low, but a foul is going to be called.
So hard to deal with Jumar Fajardo, especially when he's right in front of the basket. And really, all Chris Ross had to do was just toss it up there. And Jumar went ahead and got it, grabbed it, went against 2 defenders. Still managed to get the ball above his head, but get fouled.
Jumar makes the first free throw, already with 16 points. It's been a quiet 16 points. He had a very good first quarter, Ali, and then you can say that he's slowed down.
Well, I think he was in double figures in the first quarter. No,
close to
actually,
double digits. I think he had 8.
He was close, yeah. He was close to double figures. My mistake.
Here's Stockton against Perez. Herndon looking for some space. He's going to miss from point-blank range. And the shooting of the Alaska Aces has gone cold here in the fourth. Not a good sign for them. They need to finish strong. Shot clock at 6. What a pass!
Early in the fourth quarter, we saw big-to-big connections between Walter Tua and Jumar Fajardo. Down this stretch, it's been the pick-and-roll action that's been most devastating for Alaska. That's a beautiful pass by Marshall Lassiter to Walter Tua. Amazing.
Tautoa's going to miss in that free throw, but it's a 9-point lead enjoyed here by the Beermen. Their biggest in quite a while. They had a 15-point lead in the first half, but then they trailed by 5. Trotter gives it out. Ahanmisi for 3, yes.
It's a good attack there by Abu Trotter and finding Maverick Ahanmisi out there in the corner.
That's gonna cut the lead down to 6. The Beermen still in control here. 5:18 remaining in the fourth and final period. Take a look at the team standings. Obviously, the Beermen already in the next phase of the competition, but for Alaska, they need these 2 victories to be able to squeak in and make it to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, definitely. You know, this is right now. It's kind of a tough battle, back and forth battle between Alaska and San Miguel. But you know, Alaska, in all reality, they cannot afford to drop another game because it's going to be very, very difficult for them.
5 minutes and change remaining in this one. The San Miguel Beermen with a 6-point lead and the basketball. Ross finds Perez. Perez explodes to the basket. Another basket and 1. And Stockton is down.
San Miguel with so many weapons here, and CJ Perez attacking Stockton, using his power to get the ball over his defender. Such a talented player and such a weapon to have for San Miguel coming off the bench.
Under 5 to play. Stockton's going to be replaced, and here comes Teng.
Bonus free throw for CJ Perez.
This is the finishing lineup here for the Aces. Look at the numbers on Perez. You know, take your pick here for the Beermen if you want to choose a best player. If they do go on to
choose
win
your poison,
this
pretty much.
Game.
I mean, that's 18 points coming off the bench for San Miguel Beer.
Lead back up to 9. The Aces need to make their move now if they want to have any chance of winning this ball game. Nice seal there by Trotter. Basket and 1 off a foul from Junmar Fajardo. That's number 4 on Junmar. And these big men for the Aces not scared of Junmar at all. They're taking it right to him.
And that's a nice seal there by Abu Trotter, down low. He flashes right in front of Jumar Fajardo and then goes up strong with the right-hand hook shot.
Completes that 3-point play.
20 points tonight so far for Abu Trotter. And this is still a very close game.
Ross playing the 1. Uses that pick. Mo can hit that, but will go inside to his big man. That's going to be a 3-second violation.
Yeah, he was in there for quite some time. He was there for a while.
He should have gone up on the first move.
For sure. I mean, he had pretty good position to do that. whether it was towards the middle or baseline drop step.
And Misi now playing point. Di Gregorio is checked in. They need his outside sniping. There's a chance. He'll miss. Trotter with a putback. And Junmar, it looked like they want to pick up his fifth.
Yeah, he's definitely thinking about it, Anthony. He has to, because there's still a lot of time here in this fourth quarter.
Marshall inside. Rattles out. The Aces have numbers.
Got to
They'll
get a
wait
good
for the
shot
troops.
here.
Under 4 to play. Ahan Misi from the 15-foot line, short. Abu once again with the offensive rebound. Teng with a jumper. That rattles out. There's Brundial. And he puts it through.
Amazing work by Alaska. Wow. It's been the bigs, Anthony. Both Rodney Brontial and Abu Trotter, second chance opportunities, all because of rebounding. Again, for the fans that don't know, Alaska's the #1 team in rebounding in this conference. That's what you're seeing.
Ross, no. A push is going to be on Junmar. That's number 5.
That's big. And this is something that we haven't seen for quite some time. Actually, I would say we haven't seen at all. But then again, when you think about Alaska's bigs, these guys are very active. They're very physical. They're young. Still big guys. And I have to say, they're doing a really... Jumar Fajardo has his stats, but they're doing a really good job of dealing with Jumar Fajardo. And the rest of the bigs for San Miguel, for that matter, even though they're down by 2 points.
Teng now on the line for 2 shots, looking to tie this ball game under 3 minutes to play. Third foul on CJ.
2 free throws for Jerome Teng.
Alaska already in the penalty. The Beermen with still 1 more foul to give. Teng misses that first free throw. Check that, both teams already in the penalty. And those free throws have hounded Jerome Teng even during his college days.
Well, as a team, free throw shooting, although they're shooting 71% from the free throw line tonight, Alaska.
But Coach Jeff was telling me he feels they've lost 2 games because of their poor free throw shooting.
The one that I'm going to go back to, and I think we covered that together, was the game versus Magnolia. I think that almost that entire fourth quarter. Well, I would say the last 7 minutes of that fourth quarter, they just could not buy a free throw.
They missed 10 free throws and they lost that game by 1. Ball's going to stay here on this end. 2.6 seconds remaining here on the possession for Alaska. 30-second timeout going to be called here. Coach Jeff going to look for a play wherein he can come up with a quick basket. Let's take a look at some of the action in here. Great footwork being shown there by Trotter. And look at a slam here for Mabu.
Well, the common denominator here has been, outside of the aggressiveness by the Alaska bigs, it's also been the rebounding. I just keep harping on that. But it's really has been a big factor in Alaska keeping the game very, very close at this point in juncture. Look at those numbers there by Abu Trotter. 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. That's a solid game.
Let's see the play. That's a hurried shot. And here come the Beermen. Trying to build on their 1-point lead. Tautua finds CJ Perez.
Last 2 minutes.
That was a breakdown in defense there from the Alaska Aces.
Defensive lapse can cost you basketball games, and you know there was miscommunication there. No one knew whose responsibility that was. CJ Perez being able just to cut back door like that.
Blocking foul on number 77, CJ Perez. That's his 4th.
Perez will pick up a personal. That's his 4th. And back to the free throw line here for the Aces. But here's what you're talking about. Just can't happen, especially in the final 2 minutes.
I don't know if that was supposed to be a switch between Maverick Ahanmisi and Mike DeGregorio, but definitely there was confusion there. Looked like Mike DeGregorio was late to react to that cut by CJ Perez, but nonetheless, you cannot make those types of mistakes.
Another missed free throw here for Jerome. And he knows it. He's missed 3 already. Makes the adjustment there. The Beermen with possession here. And a 2-point lead. And interestingly, no Junmar Fajardo. Now they make their move. Ross inside. No. Chance now for Alaska to tie things
Absolutely, absolutely, Anthony.
up. De Gregorio gets away. Well, he thought so. Shot clock's winding down. Do they realize it? Tang will attack once again. Tries to go off the glass and it hits.
Well, he makes up for the missed free throws, and that's a big-time shot. Jerome Tang off the glass.
Timeout will be called by Coach Leo. 56 seconds remaining in this one. We're going to have an exciting wind-up here from Bacolor, Pampanga. Welcome back to the action here. Final minute of this ball game between San Miguel and Alaska. We're set at 98. Those are the games tomorrow. Final games of the elimination phase. Bolts up against Ginebra and Northport up against the Alaska Aces. Right now, Alaska with a winnable ball game here. They need to win their last 2 games to make it safely into the quarterfinals.
And now Junmar Fajardo back in the game, Anthony. Getting the ball in the block right away.
They swing it out. Shot clock at 3. Marsh is going to lose this one.
Good defense on Junmar Fajardo, preventing him from getting the basketball. A lot of that is just really pushing him off the block, which is a very tough task, especially the whole game. You know, one of the things that I noticed about Junmar Fajardo when I was playing against him, he wears you down to the point that, you know, in the end game, you sort of run out of a lot of energy to really battle him down low.
Officials just making sure that they got the right call, but the call on the floor is Alaska basketball. The thing is, with no more time on the shot clock anyhow, even if they do award this to the Beermen, it's a turnover.
Yes. It looks, I mean, here's a better angle so we can see where the ball was last touched. Yeah, that slipped out of Marshall Lassiter's hands, and it didn't look like Rodney Brundial came anywhere near it.
I think they're looking at it from another angle because they need to be able to make sure of what the clock should be. Ball will belong to the Aces, 37 seconds remaining, and they call a timeout. Back to the action here. We can take a look at the game reset here. So the San Miguel Beermen with a full timeout and a 30. The Alaska Aces, after last full timeout that they're calling right now, they've called right now, are down to one full. Both teams are in the penalty.
It's a huge opportunity for both teams. You know, San Miguel to sort of solidify their position at that fourth place spot. Meanwhile, Alaska has a big opportunity here to upset San Miguel Beer. And, you know, what better way to have momentum going into your next game? You know, try to rack up as many wins. You know, this is second to the last game that they have in the elimination round.
They couldn't get it in bounds. They had to call their final timeout. Jerome didn't want to make sure, just wanted to make sure of that one. He didn't want to come up with a turnover.
Yeah.
Final timeout for the Aces. Let's see what they come up with when we come back. There you can take a look at the standings. The Beermen in fourth spot, and the Alaska Aces needing their last two games to squeak in and make it to the quarterfinals. Regardless of what happens on this offensive thrust for the Aces, the Beermen will have their own shot. Safely, they get it inside to Ahanmisi.
It's a big possession here for Alaska.
Tang, will he attack? Tratter with a jumper. Bang!
It's a big time shot. That's a big time shot. And that was a good decision by Jerome Tang, getting the ball to Abu Trotter. And listen, they've been giving the Bigs of Alaska that shot all night long. And so it makes sense for Abu Trotter to take that shot once more. So Jerome Tang does a good job of sucking in. You see the reaction by Mualataltua. That gives enough time for Abu Trotter to get that shot off. And, even though Walter Tua's arm is extended there, in that case scenario, you have to get off the ground. You got to jump up and challenge, try to block that shot.
17.6 seconds remaining. Quite surprising though. The San Miguel Beermen will call a timeout anyhow when they could have called a timeout right after Abu Trader made that shot that could have given them a whole lot more time. Now they've still got 17 seconds, but quite surprising. They brought it up. They used about 3 seconds from the shot clock and the game clock, and then they called time. Here we go. One final timeout here, and it belongs to the Beermen, a 30.
Well, you notice right off the bat that Walter Tua subbed out for Jumar Fajardo. He's been their guy to make the clutch shot or to make the right pass to one of his teammates to make the clutch shot. So we'll see what happens here, but make no mistake, this offense is going to be initiated by Jumar Fajardo.
Looking inside to Junmar. There's a quick double. Ross. They find Marshall for the win.
Whoa,
Bang!
my goodness. They have no timeouts. And that cost them.
And that just might be it. That's a steal there, essentially, from Chris Ross.
And what some of the members of Alaska are upset about is there was no rotation to that corner. Again, confusion on who is supposed to go to the corner. You got two guys going to the corner. That's not JV Casio's assignment. He's all the way at the top, but he sees that it's wide open, and of all people, Marshall Lassiter, and no one's picking him up. Lack of communication, lack of experience. This is a learning point for Alaska in the future.
Not to mention the fact, Ali, that they didn't know what to do exactly after that shot went in, not realizing that they had no more timeouts. They should have just inbounded and gone.
Definitely, but unfortunately, they had their opportunities. Unfortunately, they fell short, but hats off to San Miguel Beer getting the win.
They're going to win this one by 101 to 100 off that game winner from Marshall Lassiter and that good defensive stop also from Chris Ross. Right now, we've got our best player of the game.
Well,
And
absolutely.
our best player of the game is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Well, of course, CJ Perez. It could have been any one of the players from San Miguel, but CJ Perez seemed to really turn things up and help with the pace, more particular, for San Miguel Beer coming off the bench. He had the steals, the defensive effort, but also the big-time shots, especially when San Miguel needed them.
And we're going to bring you to the press room in just a bit. But another nice win here, as you said, solidifying their position. And now they are officially, of course, in the quarterfinals, and they're going to get the 4th spot. They want to be able to get that, well, no more twice to beat advantage for them, but they're going to have to settle for a best of 3 for their squad.
You're looking at Alaska, the Alaska Aces. They have a lot to look forward to, in the conferences to come. I'm very excited about them and what they're developing right now. But again, we got to congratulate San Miguel and CJ Perez for this win.
And our best player of the game, CJ Perez. Congratulations, Coach. CJ.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, CJ. 20 points tonight. Tapos, gaano kahalaga yung panalo nyo? Tapos anong sinabi ni Coach sa inyo bago tong game na to?
Yun nga, kailangan namin ipanalo tong game na to kasi para yung momentum papuntang playoffs. And gusto lang ni Coach na na maganda ilaro namin para sa playoffs, hindi kami relax. And ayun, syempre, thank you sa mga coaches, sa tiwala, and sa mga players, sa mga teammates. Yeah.
Thank you, CJ. Coach already secured of a best of 3 quarterfinal slot, but you still pushed your team and went for the win. Ano po yung goal nyo sa larong ito?
First of all, allow me to greet my wife. It's his birthday today. Ama, happy birthday. I love you.
Happy birthday po.
And regarding this game, so we don't care kung if we're in the quarterfinals since our last game. But what we want to have today is a W because as katulad ng sinabi ni CJ, exactly that's what I've told them na it's better to get into the quarterfinals with a momentum by winning against Alaska. And on this game, we really expected na mag-go all out ang Alaska because this is one of their chances to get into the if ever there's a playoff. Okay, but hindi pa naman siguro wala sila sa contention. They have another game. But in our case, we want to win because we lost in our last game and we don't want that to be the habit. And I'm happy for them, especially CJ and then the rest of the team. They contributed a lot in this game. And medyo swerte lang kami because of our last play. So na-design niya for the big man. So it happens na somebody will be open if ever na magkukulap sila, and that happened. And there's an extra passes coming from those players, so they stick to the game plan.
CJ and Coach, ano po sa tingin nyo yung kailangan nyo pang i-improve going into the quarterfinals?
I think kailangan namin maging consistent first to fourth quarter. Yun lang, maging consistent and yung effort talaga ibibigay namin. I think yun yung medyo kulang minsan pag natapos yung first group. Yung second group parang naglalapse. So yun yung kailangan namin improve. And ayun, tiwala naman ako sa mga teammates ko na magaganda pa yung laro namin and magtutulungan kami for sure.
Coach?
Yeah, we're still keep on adjusting because CJ it's only his 11th game in our team so kinukuha pa namin yung chemistry but that's why we want to win this game because by winning this game yung confidence level tumataas and then they're believing on what we're doing and this is a big win para sa amin although alam namin na pasok na kami sa 4 or 5 but we want to be at number 4 because one win away from those number 5 is a good reason for us to celebrate for a while, but it will give us a lot of confidence.
Now we turn you over to our press friends. First up, Mr. Bong Lozada.
Yan, hi Coach!
Hi Bong, kumusta ka?
Yan Coach, okay lang. Coach, congrats po sa panalo. So, ayun nga po, Coach, nabanggit niyo po na designed for the big man yung final play. Pero nung nabantayan po si Junmar, so gaano po ka-proud sa players nyo na alam nila yung gagawin agad yung nag-collapse kay Junmar yung defense?
Yeah, since we're winning first championship, alam nila na philosophy namin, ito the big man at the post, and until now, still existing dito sa play namin. We know na they will give a hard time for Junmar to play at the post on one-on-one because he's unstoppable on a one-on-one. So because of familiarization of the players to Junmar, so they're on their spot And the good thing is medyo swerte rin kami dahil na-prevent nila si Junmar, but to na-kick out, there's a lot of extra passes just in time. And may kasama na rin swerte. Salamat at ganun na nangyari para sa amin dahil kailangan namin yon para dito sa playoff.
Thanks, Coach!
Thank you, Bong.
Up next is Mr. Ruben Terrado.
Good evening po. Question ko po kay CJ. CJ, tapos na yung elimination round mo sa first season mo with San Miguel. Ngayong papasok ka na sa playoff, siguro yung natutunan mo sa mga veterans nung elimination round at nadadalin mo papunta sa quarterfinals.
Siguro yung composure tsaka yung maging kalmado pag mga dikit na laro. I think yun yung nakita ko sa kanila. Talagang relax lang sila pag mga dikitan na laro. And ayun, I think minsan talaga nagtitiwala din talaga yung mga teammates ko, yung mga coaches sa akin. Kaya yung kumpiyansa ko talaga medyo tumataas. And for sure, sa playoffs, sana maganda ulit yung lalaro namin.
Let's take a look at the highlights here. These highlights brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. First two quarters belonged here to the Beermen.
Well, right off the bat, you see San Miguel flexing, getting off to a really big lead in that first quarter. And it seemed like Alaska really didn't know what to do with it, but they started to pick up the pace and become more aggressive. That strong power move by Abu Trotter, getting Jumar to bite.
Look at it, first quarter. Hefty lead here for the Beermen.
But in the second quarter, again, more scrappiness by Alaska. And this is what got them back into the game. Particularly the bench players of Alaska. The guys coming off the bench, Robbie Herndon, one of those guys, starting to light it up. He had a big second half.
Chris Ross goes all the way home. One of the few breakdowns in defense here for the Aces, and it really cost them.
Yeah, it became sort of a seesaw battle, but again, Alaska being able to edge out San Miguel in that first half. And then in this third quarter, we saw some really good plays by Alaska. That one in the very beginning, Robbie Herndon picking up where he left off with a three-point shot.
And that gave the Alaska Aces a 7-point lead, but the Beermen would not be denied as they come back here. Another big shot there from Marshall Lassiter.
Well, they made a lot of big shots in the second half, especially when they needed to. And we see Rodney Brandial giving Jumar Fajardo problems by taking him off the dribble.
But look at this, the Aces heading into the fourth period, we're up by 2.
Again, Alaska Aces showing a lot of heart here. You see this offensive rebound and putback by Rodney Brandial. We saw quite a few of those by the bigs of Alaska. And then this play right here by Jerome Tang, finding Abu Trotter at the top of the key for that mid-range jump shot, giving Alaska a 2-point lead with 19 seconds left. But offense always gets back to Jumar Fajardo, and then you see the ball rotation. No one there by Alaska to challenge Marshall Lassiter, and he drains that 3-point shot, ultimately giving San Miguel the win.
The only way that the Aces could have lost this ball game was on a 3, and that's exactly what they gave up.
Absolutely. But San Miguel doing their thing, getting that win.
That's our final score. The Beermen win this one 101-100.